Rabotai, we're in our Monday night shiur. Hashem should bless the sponsors. That's for the Mani family with bracha, v'atzlacha, zivug agum, parnasat tova, shefa ra'av. The main bracha is when you're going to have it, accept it. And she should accept it, you should accept it, and it should be v'atzlacha b'zat Hashem yitbarach. Hashem lo yimna tov l'chadim. And I'll tell you what, just like you gave everybody here nachat ruach, may you get nachat ruach. Right. So our shiur is Zimri ben Salu and Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen. How did Pinchas kill Zimri? We know in halakha you cannot kill a person until you have edim, which is witnesses, until you warn the guy and he has to answer you within toch de dibur, which is what? 3 seconds. Shalom alecha Rabbi. He has to answer you. No, I don't care. I'm still gonna do it. You know, to kill a person in Judaism is pretty tough. We don't need a jury or anything else. You can't kill anybody in Judaism. The Gemara Makol at the end of Parak Sheni says if a Beit Din, this is in the second Beis Hamikdash, would kill somebody in 70 years, once in 70 years, they would call them a Beit Din Katlani. A killer Beit Din. It's a murderous Beit Din. I mean, it's really hard to kill somebody in Judaism. Jail is a common thing in Judaism. Who does the jail time? Who's the one who's in charge of jail? But we let him go. He killed the guy. We can't find him guilty. We let him go. No. The king or the shofet?
Yes, custody.
The shofet. That's something else. But in general, when you have a Beis Din in Shevet Yehuda, and he can't find him guilty, but you know the guy he killed the guy. It was him. The king or the shofet, the judge, has the responsibility to take that guy and put him inside jail. Absolutely. There's no what? Intentionally. Unintentionally, then he goes to Areh, because that's what he was talking about. But if it was intentionally, and all of these, for example, the Gemara says there was a story in Masechet Sanhedrin. Rashi brings down the story. The Gemara doesn't bring down the story. It's brought in the Yerushalmi actually. That the Gemara says that Shimon ben Shatach, which was one of the Zugot, one of the leaders of Klal Yisrael, he swore to Hashem, if you make me the leader of Klal Yisrael, I will destroy all black magic from Klal Yisrael. I will go around and destroy. And where was there black magic when he became shofet? Where was there black magic? In Ashdod. Ashdod, if anyone knows a little bit Jewish history, is part of the Palestinian territory. The Plishtim. Over there is all the Kishufim. When he became the shofet, Rashi says in Masechet Sanhedrin that a woman had a dream that she came to. Somebody came and says, Shimon ben Shatach en lo chelet l'olam haba. So why? He didn't keep his neder. She came to him, and once he heard that, he decided to take 80. There was 80 mechashfot. They say mechashfot. Sorcerers, witches. That they were doing witchcraft in Ashdod, in second Beis Hamikdash, for second Beis Hamikdash, and he sent 80 young men to catch them. Why? There is a rule in black magic. If a woman, mostly women have the power to do this, if she's not touching the ground, she cannot do the kishuf. You have to pick her up.
Oh, wow.
Once you pick her up from the ground, her feet is not touching the floor, she cannot do she can't do anything. So these 80 Talmidei Chachamim, yeshiva guys, went inside the Ma'ara and they did whatever they had to do. It was a whole story over there. And then the relatives of these machashfot, the witches, they made a alilat dam, a blood libel against the son of Shimon ben Shatach, as if he was a rasha, and he came to Beit Din, and he was chayav mitah, and he had to kill his own son, even though he knew it was fake. 2 witnesses came, and they said he's chayav mitah, and there was no dispute. Even in the halakha, this is the chidush. Masechet Sanhedrin. Then they came after they said Chayav Mitah. They said we were lying. They were scared, and they said we were lying. The Rashi says this is the Masechet Sanhedrin. Don't kill him. Well, once the Gzardin was a Gzardin, and he put him and he went to death. B'skila.
But don't you need to have a viable witness?
Those were the witnesses, and then they retracted their testimony.
Were they liable?
They were not liable to begin with. They were okay. They were good, but then they had a guilty conscience, and they came to Shimon ben Shattach. He was the sister of Shlomit Zion. She was the queen of Klal Yisrael. Her husband Yanai HaMelech was Kohen Gadol for 80 years. After 80 years, he became a Kofer Beikar.
Wow.
80 years he was a Kohen Gadol. This is a rule for us. You could be a Talmid Chacham your whole life. It only takes one instance in your life to make you cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's the truth. And Shlomit Zion, she was the queen of Klal Yisrael. Her brother was Shimon ben Shattach, and whatever happened was that he was the Av Bedin, and he killed his own son. Even though he knew it was a fake testimony. It was all revenge, but he couldn't find any opening.
But they admitted, like he didn't stop.
The halacha is once an ed becomes an ed kasher, he cannot become an ed zomem. You can and Adam Masim Atzmo Rasha. You can't make yourself a Rasha.
So they didn't kill him.
Wait a second. Do you hear what I said? You can't make yourself a Rasha in halacha. You can't go to a person and you say I killed him. You can't do that. And Adam Masim Atzmo Rasha. It's the halacha. Masechet Makot.
You need the evidence.
You need evidence, and you need somebody else to testify. Now, given that, let's go into the parasha. We have over here Pinchas becomes a Kohen, the only human being who turned from a Levi to a Kohen. I'm sorry, Rabbi Bechor. You cannot become a Kohen. You're done. You're a Levi for life. There was only one Levi who turned into a Kohen. How did he turn into a Kohen? Why? First of all, how come he wasn't a Kohen? He was a son of Elazar Kohen. Okay, we have Aharon. Aharon was chosen to be a Kohen? Yes or no?
Yes.
Gabriel, look at me. He was chosen to be a Kohen. How many sons he had? Four. Nadav v'Avihu Elazar ve'Itamar. Nadav v'Avihu went. Shavak Chaim B'chol Ama. Finito. Who became Kohen Gadol after Aharon? Elazar. Elazar had how many sons? One. Pinchas. But he was born before God said make them Kohanim.
So he was a Levi?
He was a Levi. Because God said you and your descendants will be Kohanim. That means you and the descendants that will be from today on. But Pinchas was already born. So he wasn't a Kohen. Could you imagine? All of your family, they're all superstars, but you're just a star.
How is it possible? His father
What?
was born.
God did that on purpose.
Because it's a godly commandment. It's not what you decide. This is not your, I decide this. It's no inherit. Hashem said, from today on, you guys are Kohanim. From today on, your descendants will be Kohanim. If whoever was born beforehand will not be Kohanim. They're getting Bidyu.
Did that on purpose? Hashem?
Yeah, of course.
You know what the purpose was? So Pinchas would have the
image.
I don't want to say the word, but the strength to lisrof et ha'olam. And you know what? I'll tell you what's one thing. And I want to teach you guys a kavanah tonight.
So wait, Eliezer had a kid after...
Elazar. Not that we know of.
So Pinchas don't.
Pinchas was his son. And Pinchas was the brother-in-law Boje, as we say in Bukhari, of Moshe Rabbeinu.
Wow.
Him and Moshe, they both married two sisters. That means Moshe and his nephew married two sisters. I'm going to tell you something, I promise you guys, bli neder, that you guys never heard this before in your life. It should be a zechut for the sponsors.
Amen.
Pinchas, I'm reading for you guys from the book Sefer HaGilgulim. I bought this book today. I have this book in the old print. When Rabbi Shmuel Vital, the son of Rav Chaim Vital, Mahar Chur, he bring the Shmona Sha'arim, the 8 gates. he only had half of this book called the Gates of Reincarnation. This book, which was found afterward, is double the amount. Double the amount. How do we know it's a real book? Maybe it's not. Somebody made it up. The Hida. Rabbi Chaim Yosef Azolai says this book, admit. Now that I said this, I remember something. Tonight is the Yorset of Rabbi Ben Zion Abba Shaul. Your zehut. May we have the zehut to connect to his neshama. He was Persian, by the way. You know, Shiradi. You're also, and you're supposed to tonight's shiur. Wow, L'Shem Shamayim, L'Shem Shamayim. Pinchas says Ari Kadosh. Who's Phineas? Pinchas. Da, don't miss a word over here, Rabbi Isai. Sheyitzhak Avinu, Isaac, our father, Nidgalgel bePinchas, was reincarnated inside Pinchas.
Wow.
You never heard this before, you know that? I guarantee you.
Never.
The Esav and Esav Nidgalgel beZimri. He was inside Zimri. I'm not making this up. You can look at this after this year. Lefi shaya liYitzchak la'arog ben Esav. Yitzchak, halachically speaking, should have killed Esav.
Wow.
Esav was a ben mored, he was a ben sorer or more, he was a rasha merusha, oved avodah zara ve'megale arayot. Yitzchak's din was that he had to kill Esav. V'hu היה אוהב אותו, but he loved him. Instead of giving him shateh, what did he do instead? Achoch mushi. He gave him loves and kisses.
And present.
Lama ki atzayed befiv. He had a nice mouth. He knew how to trick his father in his mouth. והנה, אחר שלא נתקן עצמו בזמרי, עתה וחזר לסורו וסיישתו ששמו יצחק בגופם שנית, כדי לנקה מעשיו להראות שיש דין למעלה. ולכן בעתה ובנכנס להרוג אותו. Hashem said, because you didn't, Ariel, do your din to give nikama to Esav, which is Zimri. Now you guys are gonna come back in Pinchas and Zimri, and now you will take Pinchas to show the world that even if a father loves his son, he still has to do the right thing. ואחר כך נתגלגל ברבי עקיבא ben Yosef. Then Zimri came into a gilgul inside Rabbi Akiva, the greatest Tana in Klal Yisrael. All your Gemara and your Mishnahs, Aliba de Akiva ben Yosef. Who's Akiva ben Yosef? You just read about him this week's parasha. Zimri ben Salu. And this is the secret that 24,000 men died by the tribe of Shimon. And therefore, ולקח מתו לרבי עקיבא כ"ד אלף מתלמידים. That's like 24,000 students died of Rabbi Akiva. The same amount to the same amount. And I have a chidush to tell you if you guys are willing to listen. And therefore, if you take the numerical value of Akiva ben Yosef, it's going to be the same thing as Zimri ben Salu. Same thing. Akiva ben Yosef is Zimri ben Salu. Vehine gam ken tzad hara sheb'Esav, the evil of Esav. That means, who's Zimri? Zimri is Esav. Who's Zimri? Rabbi Akiva. And this same Rash of Esav came back in the tikkun. The evil, not the good. The good already was fixed in who? Who was it fixed in? In Rabbi Akiva, it was fixed. And every day when you say El Nekamot Hashem, El Nekamot Afiyah, who you have to think of? Rabbi Akiva. 10 Sadiqim, Rabbi Akiva ben Yosef. You know where the bat of Esav got fixed? You're not going to believe it. In the donkey of Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair.
That's like he didn't eat it, right?
The father-in-law of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai.
that the donkey that didn't need
Eat it.
anything?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Only a Levi can know such a thing.
Which
No,
donkey?
There was a donkey. You
That's
said.
what I'm saying,
Okay,
yeah.
also Israel.
Yeah.
We're
That's what I'm saying,
thinking
that was the
in
same
the Gemara. It says a story. There was a donkey.
What was the donkey?
He sold me, I can't eat it.
You know what? Something about the donkeys. Could we do Pidyon, Peter, Hamon? I'll ask you a question. Pidyon, what's the first letter of Pidyon? Pei. Rechem, Reish. Chamor, Chet. Pei, Reish, Chet. Is what you get? Rabbi, 288 sparks. Whoever is going to be the first one to figure this out, this enigma out, he's going to have such a aliyat, 288 sparks. You could ask any wish you want. I will not have a safek. It's not gonna come true. Not a safek. Safek. I'm not gonna have. You know what? Pidyon Pidyon. The Rashi Tevot is the 288 sparks. Do you know what's written in your tefillin? Do you know what's written?
Yeah.
I don't want to swear. Yes, it's true. Pidyon Pidyon Chamor is written in your tefillin. You're wearing it every day.
Every day.
Exception.
Rabotai, do you understand? Pinchas is Yitzchak. Zimri is Esav. Zimri is Rabbi Akiva. And the bat of Zimri is who? The donkey of Rabbi Pinchas. Once again, Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair. See that Pinchas? You see that Pinchas? Not once in the whole Talmud. If you find me in a Talmud, which you won't find me, if you find, I give you $1,000. Tell me one place where Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair tells me halacha. Never. Because it says only Agada. Only Darashot. Once some Shababnikim, they stole Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair's donkey. A donkey back then was a BMW. It was a BMW. No joke.
Makes sense.
They tried to feed him wheat, barley. He wouldn't eat. Why? They didn't take thank you, Eliyahu. They didn't take Maaser. Eliyahu, by the way, he's Pinchas. Eliyahu, they didn't take Maaser from him.
But donkey knew it.
Why? Let's see. I want to see who figures this out. He's gonna be Tzaddik Yesod Olam. Why did the donkey not want to eat from the wheat that didn't they take Maaser from?
He's not allowed to.
It was trying to fix
Connect to who?
You said Asa. Fix Asa. You said Asa.
How? What was that? What's the connection with
Is
Asa?
it the lentil?
What did Asaph do?
Tell his father.
Asa
He would tell his father, how do you take Maaser from salt and hay? What do donkeys eat? Hay.
Was that also the one that was?
Thank you, Shkoya.
That was also the one that was sold to the non-Jews and he didn't work on Shabbat and he had to talk to him.
Very good.
No, that's something else. That's Rabbi Yochanan ben
That's what
Torta.
I was
Yeah,
referring to.
That's Rabbi Yochanan ben
That's what
Torta.
That's his
But he got it. Because when they tried to feed him the hay, they said, they don't want to eat it. They said, take Maaser from it. You don't have to take Maaser from hay. What did Asaph tell his father? How do you take Maaser from hay? You come back, you want to do donkey food? What do you come back as? A donkey. Now I'm going to tell you guys something crazier. If you guys got a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes, and a bigger chidush. But from what we just said, by the way, what we just said right now, you never hear the rest of your life. Never, ever in your life. This right now should be a chizuk for you, how there's no coincidences in a human being's life. It says over here, in Sefer HaGilgulim, chapter 51. It says over here, why was Pinchas chosen to kill Zimri? What tribe was Zimri from? Shimon, thank you. What tribe was Pinchas from? Levi. Pinchas, between you, he was supposed to be a Kohen. I mean, the guys over here, they had a nice, as if they feel for Pinchas, I'm saying? Like, they're there, we love Pinchas. He was supposed to be a Kohen. Everyone's a Kohen, just he's not a Kohen.
Outcast.
He's an outcast, the black sheep. But why was he outcasted? And why did he have to break through that to become then what? A Kohen.
Less than 14.
I will tell you. It's actually the Chidush is mitbakesh. The Sefer HaGilgulim. Today, all of Klal Yisrael, we could have had Mashiach a long time ago. All the Znud, Arayot, Avodah Zarah, Hashem is El Rachum B'Chanun Erech Alpayim Rav Chesed David. You think he cares about our shtuyot? Thank you, really. Tikkun. Kol hakavod. Thank you, really. Hashem doesn't care about our stuff. He cares and he doesn't. He doesn't really make up a gam. Hashem is Rav, he's kol yachol.
He doesn't need us.
Bead you. Hashem makes believe as if he needs us. He makes believe like, Hashem says, I need you. I make it as if I need you. And who? Us. In this room.
Because Hashem wants to make that.
Because Hashem wants to be like it. If he didn't want it, he was perfect before the world was created, and he will be perfect after the world was created. He doesn't need us, but he wants to need us. That's the chidush. That's like he wants to need us. And he makes a system to want us. Us in this room. That's how special you are. There's two averot that Klal Yisrael will not have Mashiach until we're gonna fix these two averot. What are they?
Immorality.
No.
Shabbat?
Give me a specific time and a specific people that did this avera.
No.
Yosef.
Yosef HaTzadik and
Golden Calf.
Golden. Wow. Why do you have to give the two deepest
Answers.
the ones that are all the way in the bottom? Egel Azav and Mechirat Yosef. Those are L'chaim. Those are the biggest ones. Till today we're
Paying for it.
what does the Gemara say? How much are we paying them? 24 pieces. How many died in this week's parasha? 24,000. How many died in Rabbi Akiva? 24,000. In Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed, how many letters? 24. How many books in the Torah? Nevi'im Ketuvim? 24. It's a very serious number. Bilam's prophecy, Ko. What's Ko? 25. One above to overcome the 24. How many matanot kuhuna we have? How many gifts to the Kohen we have? 24. 24. That's why I always push you guys. Pidyon Petar Chamor is only one of the 24 matanot kuhuna. It's one of the 24 matanot kuhuna. There's another matana. There's two which we could do today. One of them is to give the wool to a Kohen. If you buy 5 sheep, the wool, the not a skin, the wool of the sheep, you have to give to the Kohen. Now you don't have to give the wool actually. You have to give the value. Another one I was okay to do thanks to Gabriel over here. Zeroa lechayim va'akeva. You have to give the zeroa, the right, not foreleg, but the front. Right, the right hand, the cheeks, l'chayim v'akeva, and the maw. The maw. 3 pieces to give to the Kohen as a gift. I was okay. I did this. Me and Gabriel, we both did it together. We did it 2 times.
What if the
do
Kohen
it nowadays.
rejects it?
You could do it right now if you have a sheep or a goat.
What if the Kohen rejects it?
Midoraita. Midoraita. You can come back in a Gilgul because of that. You should know that.
So every mitzvah basically.
Every mitzvah you have to do. Daniel Baba Shai, we did it too. Rosh Yeshivat Laman Achai. Segan Rosh Yeshivat Laman Achai. Segan, yeah, is it?
How much is it per bottle?
$200. And Maras. So, I want to tell you why, back to what we were saying, why did Pinchas was chosen, and you never heard this before in your life, to fight Zimri. So we said, 2 averot we're paying for, yes? To make a small summary, Yosef and The golden calf.
You mean the selling of the Yosef?
Yeah, right?
Yes, and Yosef is what? It's a calf. He's compared to what? A shore. What's a shore?
Yeah.
A bull. It's a right. Who were the two brothers who were in the idea, the advice to
Shimon.
kill Yosef?
Shimon.
Shimon and Levi.
Levi also.
Shimon and Levi.
Always them two.
The two Shobabnikim.
Troublemaker.
The two troublemakers. Who was in the idea to kill Yosef? Shimon and Levi. So Hashem says it was a fight in Shamayim. Says the Ari. Who's gonna fight who? Shimon is gonna fix Levi, or Levi is gonna fix Shimon. You never hear this in any time in your life. I will let you know this.
Written over there, what you're saying?
Why did Shimon lose up? Why did Shimon lose?
He went.
Because when they made the golden calf, when Moses said, "Who is to God for me?" Who came to him? Shevet Levi came to him.
So he was here at the time.
It wasn't because they were his family. We know that's not real because Korach wanted to kill him. They were not such achdut. But who came to Moshe? Shevet Levi. So Shevet Levi fixed themselves in the golden calf. But Shimon is Otiot Sham Avon. Over there is the Avon. So who has to fix who? Levi has to fix Shimon. When the whole Avera happened with Zimri and Cosby, the two brothers who always loved each other was Shimon and Levi, said, now I'm going to truly love you. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to make a tikkun for you. By Pinchas, which is Levi, and Yitzchak Avinu, which is the father of the Gvurot, himself stabbing Zimri in the Kuba. What's the Kuba? What's Kuba?
Right?
Brit Milah. You
7
want to hear something crazy?
Oh, that's what
I had a
it
family member who had a Brit Milah for his kid this past Shabbat. And what did he name his kid? Kobe.
Very popular.
Kuba! Kobe! Whoa! You could have picked a better name, I think.
Well, that's really why he did it? Is that reason?
Of course not. It just happened to be how you named that kid at this thing.
Cool.
Unbelievable! It's crazy.
What's the Jewish name?
I mean, I hope so. Yaakov. I mean, Kobe, Yaakov, same way. I'm hoping so. And when he killed Zimri, he fixed the tikkun that Yitzchak was supposed to say to Esav, get out of here. He was not mutar to the brachot. He was not available to the brachot. And he didn't, but Pinchas did it, and he came back as Rabbi Akiva ben Yosef. Now, I want to finish it. Rabbi Akiva ben Yosef is exactly the gematria of Zimri ben Salu. That means the whole story of Zimri and Pinchas and Rabbi Akiva was the arms bearer of who? Chas v'shalom. Of who? Ben Koziva. Ben Koziva was supposed to be Mashiach ben David. You meant that, but you got confused. I give it to you. He got confused. And Ben Koziva, who was Ben Koziva? Bar Kochva.
Sounds like supposed to be.
He was supposed to be Mashiach and Rambam. Only the Rambam, by the way. You never find one Rishon that says Rabbi Akiva was his arms bearer. Only Rambam. And the Rambam says Rabbi Akiva was his arms bearer. Why? Rabbi Akiva was Mashiach ben Yosef, and Bar Kochva was supposed to be Mashiach ben David. Why did he mess up? One answer. He didn't believe in the Chachamim. He threw the Chachamim away. Yes. He killed his own uncle, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. Rabbi Eliezer Hamodai, not Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. I made a mistake. Rabbi Eliezer Hamodai. He killed him because he thought he was in cahoots with the Romans. When you don't believe in the Chachamim, even if you have Shorish HaYechida, you're done. Because Chokhmah without Yechida, lo olech. Doesn't go together.
So what happened to Reuben? Reuben was the one who...
Reuben?
Kuba?
Yeah, he's the one who told them not to kill yourself.
You wanted to come back later.
Oh, the shiur is.
Some other shiur,
You know who wrote this book?
Reuben.
Ariyat Kadosh, which is a Gilgul of Reuben ben Yaakov Avinu. Hashem shall bless us all with bracha, v'atzara, yeshua. All the secrets that are revealed today should be b'zchut, all the sponsors in the Hilulav, Rabbi Ben Zion Abba Shaul, and Hashem shall bless all with bracha, v'atzara, yeshua, bracha, zivugim agunim. כל הצעה, וכן יסום ונאמר, אמן. רבי חנניה בן הקשה.